campaign that since 2000 at the time of the Durban conference of HIV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, please give us the impression of this time that yesterday you joined the march,
Yeah.
and I think that we somewhat minority, and you are the one of the very only African from to this place, and then please introduce you, and then what's your comment of this time for G8 Summit?
Okay, the comment on what I want to see achieved, or okay, I wanted to get a clarity.
Yeah.
A comment on what am I looking forward for to come out from the G8 summit.
Yes.
Okay. It was a pity because I was the only black person yesterday. But the thing is that what I'm looking forward is that at the end of this meeting of these rich people, what I'm looking forward is that they must come out with a strategy of a long-term funding mechanism to make sure that there is enough money in the global fund, to make sure that the promise that they made for the universal access to treatment, prevention and care becomes a reality. Because now, if they are talking of these promises and there is no money, there is no way they can be the implementation. And of which, when we look in for 2008, there is a short of 8 billion to make this a reality. And when we're also looking at for 2010, there is a short of $10 billion, and of which it means that this is just an empty promise. And also, when looking at the issue of strengthening of health system, we find that without health workers, there is no way we can talk about universal access to treatment. And also without the support of women and children to support the national plans for the PMTCT program to be a reality, there's no way we can talk of support, because the children are being born being HIV positive. Meanwhile, this can be prevented. So those are the things that I'm looking forward for the G8 to make sure that they come out with these strategies to make sure that they also fulfill the promises they made, not just talking. Now is not time for talking, it's time for implementation.
Thank you very much. And yes, I like to know about you are the one of the PWA, that people living together with HIV. And what you know what did you know your own condition about HIV, and what is your goodwill for working together with your group or treatment action or campaign itself? When did you know that what you said?
I knew my status in 2005 on the 7th of April.
Yes. Because
of the treatment literacy program, which was introduced within the treatment action campaign.
Yes.
Where I learned about the scientific of HIV. I learned about, for you to be HIV positive, it doesn't mean that you must get sick first. It's where you can go and know your status. And then I volunteered to go and know my status, just to find that I'm HIV positive, and I was not sick. Even now, I'm not sick. I just know that I'm living with the virus in my blood. Yeah.
So next year that we will have the G8 in Toyako in Japan. That what's something comment for Japan or Japanese our friends? So please, something to talk for us.
What I'll say, I don't have much to can comment because I don't know a lot about what's happening there. But what I can say is that it's time to can talk about the untold stories, because sometimes you look at the other country and then you are like, our country is fine. Meanwhile, there are things that they are not told, you are not aware, and that of which are happening there. And then at the end, you realize and it's too late. So what I'll say is that as this G8 will be coming to your country, is to make sure that whatever they've promised, they've fulfilled. It mustn't be coming again to do promises. You must put pressure on them and also the government from where you are to make sure that they fulfill what they promised, because it's not about looking at it's only those people who are affected, because even in your countries, you know, where you are from, there are people who are affected, there are people who are infected. So in order to make sure that this is a reality and also support the people, also make sure that this HIV mustn't spread all over. We must make sure that there is the implementation. It's where we talk of maybe prevention, to say those who are HIV negative, they must be protected. And of which we must talk about the services. We must talk about all the condoms and everything that must be done so that people must remain negative. And those who are positive, for them not to reach the AIDS stage, it means they need treatment. And for mothers who are going to give birth, it means that they must access the PMTC program so that they mustn't infect the unborn baby. So that's the message that I'm saying. Put pressure, don't keep quiet, voice, speak until we receive what is to be done to the people or for the people.
Thank you very much. And finally, that can you try march?
March for treatment.
March
for treatment.
March
March for justice.
March
for justice.
March
March for women.
March
for women.
March. Thank you very much.